Hi, I'm Michelle, the massage therapist. Today I'm going to do a little guided meditation for some grounding. This will help you feel more grounded, and as that might imply, if you don't know, it's a feeling of centeredness and connectedness, usually to the earth, to the land. Get that root chakra. If you know anything about the chakras, the base chakra is the color red, which is what I'm wearing today. Okay, so I suggest that you either sit or stand, be comfortable. If you're standing, just let your feet be lined up with your hips, your shoulders, your knees. Don't lock your knees, so slightly bend your knees forward, and then as you stand, just don't let them lock back. So you're relaxed and comfortable. As you're standing, you can rock a little forward onto the balls of your feet. Feel how that balance is. Rock back onto the heels of your feet, and then find the center. So it's like the big toe and the pinky toe ball and the heel act like a tripod for each of your feet. And that's a nice centered, balanced way to stand. And if you're sitting, you can sit cross-legged, you can sit on the floor or a mat, you can sit in a chair, have your feet touching the floor if you're sitting above it. And then I want you to just think about that balance, whether you're standing or sitting. Move side to side, back and forth, finding that point of balance. And imagine that there is a string up the spine, out the top of your head, just lifting you as if you were hanging from a string, nice and tall, feeling a little space between each vertebrae of your neck, your mid-back, your low back. Your spine is stretched and relaxed at the same time, just open as you breathe in. Feel your ribs expanding. Imagine that breath as you breathe in, coming in, down the spine to the tailbone, down into the feet. Imagine the breath coming in and releasing and relaxing as you breathe out. Now, if you think about the roots of a plant or a tree, they go down deep into the earth and they bring up water and nutrients from the soil. So I want you to imagine that you have roots extending from your tailbone of your spine and from your feet. Again, we have that 3-point tripod. Think about those roots sinking down through whatever building you're in. It goes right through into the earth, into the soil. You can picture that moist, dark, rich, nutrient, watered, mineraled, stone, all the things, all the elements that are earth are within the soil where your roots can go deep. They can go deep into the top layers of soil, 6 feet, 16 feet, 20 feet, 100 feet. You can go down underwater beds of rock and mineral, underwater magma and heat and warmth, down into the crust, down into the magma, the center, the core, anything that you want to imagine, deep as you want to go. But we're going to sink down anywhere into that top crust and soil. Just to picture yourself rooted into that earth, just like a tree or plant. If you have a favorite flower or a favorite tree, just imagine yourself. Let's just say it's oak. Big, broad oak tree planted deep in the earth. So, as you breathe, picture all the nutrients that your body needs coming up the roots into your body, hydrating, feeding, and nourishing your entire body, up the spine, up the head and neck, out into the arms. And as you breathe out, let anything in your body go that doesn't need to be there. If you have knots of tension in your neck or shoulders, breathe in and bring them up. Breathe out and let them go. Let it go down. Let that tension just fly out of the body, down the legs, out the feet, roots, out the spine, tail, down into the earth, and it can be released there into the earth. All that energy can come into the earth and just be transformed. It's like the air that we breathe out is our waste product, but the plants, it's food. To the plants, our breath is food. So as we replicate their imaginative release, all that energy of tightness, of worry, of concern, of fear, of anger, of grief, anything that you're feeling that is holding you back, just let it move through you and breathe out to the roots, letting it go. You can picture it moving down the arms and the fingertips, releasing, and you can shake it off of your fingers. Picture it moving out the spine and the feet. And as we have let that go, I'm going to take a moment here to do a few more breaths and just picture all those spots in your body. Just feel the breath, head to toe. Any spots you find that are tight, tense, hard to breathe into, hard to picture, take a moment. Imagine the breath moving. I feel tight here in the chest, at the sternum, so I picture that breath moving right here, lifting my sternum and my ribs with my breath. Every breath that I release, it softens. The shoulders that I raise with the breath because it feels like they want to exaggerate that tension so that I can let it go more. All right, now we're going to do that breath deep into the earth and allow your mind to just picture what is comfortable, what is needed for you. Is it that rich soil that is full of vitamins and nutrients that's representative of all the nutrition and energy that you need to feed your body? If you want to picture that rich, dark soil. If you want to picture the stone, the shiny bits of mica, the minerals, perhaps it's indicating that your body needs more minerals, more selenium, more magnesium, more iron. God knows I talk about that all the time for myself, as might be for you as well. If you need the hydration, if you're feeling stiff or glued together or tight, hard to feel your joints freely, picture that water. It can be warm currents of water, underground rivers that your roots can reach down into. If you need the salt, if you need the fresh oxygenated water, if you need the warmth of a hot spring, or the molten lava that runs and seams underneath our continents and our planet, picture those things and see how they feel. Know that you're always connected to yourself here. You're always safe. Just take a few moments and reach those roots down and picture those parts of the earth. Settle and sink into that movement, reaching with your energy energetic roots. As you find those seams of water, earth, air, minerals, draw it up the roots, drawing up the roots. Plants and tree roots work both ways. They channel energy in and energy out. So now we're bringing what we need into our bodies and into our energetic bodies, into our minds and our awareness. Imagine those minerals and waves of water, the warmth of fire, salt, earth, feeding you up through the roots into the feet, around the bones of the toes and the ankles. Feel it moving up into the backs of your calves, the fronts of your shins, in between the bones, in the blood, in the skin, up into the knee joints, hydrating and feeding and nourishing up into all the tissue of the thighs, all the veins and arteries, the skin, the muscle, the connective tissues, all the ligaments and tendons, feeling free and connected and strong. Up into the hips, feel that looseness. Feel the water around the joints moving easily, bringing that nutrient-rich earth up into the body. Up the spine from the tailbone, the lower back, the big bones of the vertebrae in between, up the middle back between the ribs and the vertebrae, into the organs of your abdominal cavity, bringing what your body needs to help everything function in harmony and health. Picture that breath, strong, connected to the earth, fresh air, fresh earth, fresh warmth, fire, fresh minerals, all the nutrients to feed all the organs of the body, the blood, the bones, the inner and outer structures that make us physical beings. Up the spine, into the ribs, into the chest and shoulders, shoulder blades, into the joints of the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the fingers and the thumbs. Picture the air and the breath and the water and the body all the way through, creating ease in all the joints, feeding and nourishing your body with everything that the earth has to offer. All living beings, we are connected. All the way up the neck, back of the neck into the head, feel their breath and the energy into your jaw, the cheeks, your nasal passages, your throat and ear tubes, clearing, getting rid of any sinus, allergy, around the eye sockets, the forehead, the eyebrows, the skull cavity, the space between your skull and the brain. There's connective tissue, cerebrospinal fluids, and blood circulating around the nerves and all the tissues. Feel that breath moving up the spine, into the brain. The crown of your head and that invisible string I mentioned at the beginning. Trouble connecting and feeling that connection to the earth, you can also picture yourself against that favorite tree of yours, whether it's a dogwood or an oak, maple, whatever you like. If you've got a favorite tree that you don't even know what it is, but it's in your backyard or was at your parents' house when you were a kid, an apple tree, whatever you like, picture yourself standing or sitting at the base of that tree, leaning against the bark, imagining the feel of that bark against your tree, against your back, and just feel that energy moving up and down. You are part of that same in and out, up and down, release and nourish, breathing of the tree and the earth. And like a tree, when I get to the crown, I often like to picture energetic branches reaching up to the sky. I love the night sky, the cosmic stars, nebula. I picture just reaching little twigs of energy reaching out of my head, my fingers, drawing in that lovely electric feeling all the way down into my feet, down into the earth. Take your time to do this as much as you want, or as short as you want. It can be a quick connect, 3 breaths, sink into the earth, take 3 breaths, reach up, take a breath and release. It can be a longer sitting with the body, scanning through where your tight parts, your knots, your tension, your worries are sitting within you. I want you to just imagine that those roots can come back into your body. Your branches can draw back in, but they're always there. You're connected to the earth, but you can still move and walk. I'm kind of literal in my visualization, so I always have to feel like I reel them back in, kind of like a one of those cords that you press a button and it comes zipping back in, but it's still open. The little spots where they come in and out can reach out whenever I need to connect and feel grounded. So just feeling that body sink into the earth, whether it's actually outside, that would be great if you can go out and sit by a tree or sit on the ground. And if not, picturing it in your mind. Our minds don't really know the difference between what is actually physically happening and what we're telling ourselves is physically happening. So if you can actually picture being outside by a tree in the grass and remember the smell and the feel and the temperature. I love the cool blades of grass and the warm earth. The sky can be night or day. Picturing those details that speak to you and help you feel relaxed are just as good for the body as they can be when we go out in real nature, when we can't always get outside because of the weather, because of the quarantine, or because of where we are, what we have to do. It's a good time to take 5 minutes or less or more and just take that break mentally. And the better you can picture the details, to feel it and to see it and smell it and hear it, the sounds, then the easier it is for you to get in that habit of connecting, and the quicker you can be at getting back to being grounded and feeling balanced. So, so that's it for today. It's like a 20-minute esoteric mini guided meditation. I hope that you enjoyed that, and all my info is in the descriptions below, and I appreciate you joining me. Stay well.